Hey Wildcats, we're here with Mr. Hill, our fourth grade literacy teacher. Mr. Hill, what made you want to pursue a career in education?
Well, I pursued a career in education because I wanted to help students who grew up in a similar background that I have. I grew up with a single parent, not much money, and I went to a fourth ISD school, and I had great teachers, and they really made an impact on my life and got me to where I am today. So I want to do the same with my students.
What excites you about teaching reading?
I know that reading is a life skill that you'll use forever, and I know that I'm going to make a huge impact teaching these skills. And also, I know the power that a book can give you because I've read tons of books and got lots of information, and the reading has really transformed my life, and I know it can have the same with other children. So I'm very excited to teach it.
How important is team dynamics to you?
Very important. As a newer teacher, I had to rely on my teammates to get best practices, emotional support, and guidance. So I believe teamwork. You're as strong as your team. So I believe it's very important.
What ways can teachers contribute to a positive school culture?
I would say leading by example. So just being professional, being polite, being courteous, all those things that you can role model to other students. I mean, to your students, so they can grow up and do those. So I just like to lead by example.
Perfect. How does administrative support look to you?
To me, it is setting clear expectations so I know exactly what to do. It's an open door policy where I can come in and vent out what's going on. We can just have conversation, and it's just reaching out with the resources and practices and material. So that's how I think they can support me best.
What hobbies do you have, or what do you do in your spare time?
Well, Mr. Hill is pretty much a nerd. Other than sports, love sports to watch those. But other than that, you'll catch me reading Wall Street Journal or watching CNBC, something about stock market or the economy.
Interesting. Tell us an interesting story about yourself.
Well, something that's interesting about me is when I was born, it was just me and my sister. And in middle school, my mother adopted two other families. So my family grew from two to eight.
Wow.
So I have a big family and we're very close. And I eventually later on bought a house a block away from my mom. So I live a block away from my mom and my big family.
That's cool. What are your expectations for your students this school year?
My expectations is for every one of my students to grow. So I want to look at the data, look at where they are last year, and I'm looking to make sure that everyone's getting pushed further than they were last year.
And finally, if you could change one thing about the educational system, what would it be?
I would say make creating more diversity. When I went to elementary, middle school, and high school, I sat in classes with Hispanic, white, and black. And I think it had a huge impact on my success. So I think if we can have classrooms with more diversity and more ethnic and culture, then students can really benefit in the future.
All right, well, we appreciate you taking your time today and have a good one.